It's very common when we discuss about availability, people also talk about fault tolerance. What is fault tolerance? Fault tolerance, I would call it is a big brother of availability. If you remember, in availability, we still had some downtime. It could be hours, it could be days, it could be minutes, but we expect there would be some downtime. Can there be some situation where we do not want any downtime at all? Obviously, there can be life-threatening life-related situations like, hey, you have a life support system for a hospital. We don't want any downtime on that at all. And that's where fault tolerance comes into picture. A real example of fault tolerance you can find into your airline industry. Most of the aircraft you will find there are two engines on that. Most modern aircraft I'm talking about. Why two engine? Again, the same idea that we need both engine to perform efficiently, but even if one of them fails, we can still have some service of means we can still fly the aircraft in an emergency situation even with one engine. That would not be a standard modus operandi, but most of the time when we have in any time if we have challenges in one engine, maybe a safe landing can still happen with only one engine operational. The airline industry implemented fault tolerance very efficiently. You would always find there would be two pilots. Again, to ensure that a human error doesn't result into a fatalities, probably there would be two pilots who may be performing some task in combination to ensure that nobody is making a mistake. So that is one of the things. And you would also find there could be two navigation system. In case there is an issue in one of the navigation system, they can rely on the second one and still perform all the maneuvers they need to. Then there could be also it goes up to a level like they do not serve the same meal to both the pilot in long haul flights. What if there is a food poisoning? They don't want both to get affected, so there would be different meals served to people, and that would also be on different time. Like at a time when a pilot is eating his or her food, they would ensure after he or she finishes, then only they give food to the second pilot. So that's how they ensure a fault tolerance. Then they have a rule of two in cockpit. Like if a pilot has to go out for something, then they would call a crew member to be inside the cabin, and then only they would be going out. So there would be at least two people at any time to ensure these type of issues which may happen. So that is what a fault tolerance is. Let's go ahead and talk about little formal definition. Fault tolerance means that a system will almost always maintain uptime and user will not notice anything different during a primary system outage like aircraft. So even if there is a issue, one pilot's health is not as expected, maybe he got sick into flying, then still you would be able to not see all the symptom. Other pilot would take care of the things for that. So that is what fault tolerance. You do not see as a user anything different during the primary system outage if it goes down. And to implement fault tolerant in workload, we use spare or we use redundancy subsystems. When one of the system is in redundant set fails, another picks up its work typically almost seamlessly. Two pilot example, two engine example, that's what fault tolerance is. This can be also seen into your physical server. Physical servers may have multiple power supplies on them. So even if one of them fails, the system can still withstand that failure because there is another power supply running. Obviously, there is a cost increase because of that. Another implementation you could see is RAID, which is your redundant array of inexpensive disk. So here we have two disks and we have mirroring configured for them. So all the data is available in both the disks. Even if one of them fails, I won't notice any performance degradation. I would still be able to get my data from the other disk. So that is what a fault tolerance is. So fault tolerance is basically is zero downtime. We do not want any downtime at all. And whereas high availability is a minimal downtime, but we expect there will be some downtime when things go wrong. So obviously cost wise fault tolerance implementation would be very costly. High availability can be configured, but it may be not as costly as fault tolerance. So it depends on what kind of workload you are running. You will probably look for a fault tolerance or you would look for availability, but it purely depends from business reason and depends on the money you can shell out to implement these solutions. Thank you.